Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me again for this one more live. Again, I am Dr. Gurpreet Kaur, and through Living Excellence Today, living you happy, healthy lives through self care and self love. So, today we would be talking about 3 easy steps you can take today to cope with mom guilt so you can start taking care of yourself so you can be even better mom, right? So let's get started. Please let the questions and comments, the conversation flow easily. Let me know how I am doing. And it's more of a conversation, and maybe grab a pen or paper, so pen and paper, so you can follow along, especially for the first step. And if you are there, let me know if you can hear me, see me. Let the comments come in. I will keep my eyes on comments, and we'll go from there. Okay, so the first, before we begin, I want to say that I am assuming you are here because you want to be even better mom than you already awesomely are. But I am also assuming that you're getting tired, exhausted, and running out of steam and time to do what you really cherish the most: spending some quality time with your little ones or your kiddos, right? So let's get that changed. So you feel rested, you can take the time for your self-care, as well as you can serve others, your kids too, okay? I will keep this session short and to the point because I know you are a busy mama and would rather get to action right away. So let's get into it. Ready? The first thing I want you to do is to identify the worry that is making you feel guilty in the first place. Okay? Not just a general worry or statement or a self doubt that I am not a good mom, not I am not doing enough for my kids, or I need to do more. So I want you to be very specific what it is that you are not doing that is making you feel guilty. Type your biggest worry in the comments so I can help you unravel that here, if that's possible. Okay? So ask some of these tough questions. Are my kids spending too much time with a sitter? Should I only be feeding organics to my kids? Or you might have a question pop in your head. Is cereal every morning a bad breakfast? Right? Do I have to read 5 books to her every night? I want you to be very specific and real with yourself for these questions, or any question that pops up in your head. This will help you implement the next 2 steps easily. Put those thoughts and questions on a piece of paper and ask yourself some even tough questions. Make your worries into actionable format so you can do something about it instead of just worrying. And then we'll move on to the decision time when it comes to it. And the next 2 steps are more of the actionable items. But for this one, I want you to, for this specific first step, I want you to kind of do a little bit more reflection. And hopefully you can just follow along with that. I am trying to keep my eyes on these comments and stuff. Okay. So we'll move on to the action stuff later. But going back to your reflection, decide whether you are going to keep worrying about what you have been worrying about, or take some action, which we will, or that you just need to table the conversation or the topic for next 6 months so you don't keep worrying about it. Okay? And then you'll just let yourself know that, hey, I'm going to table it for 6 months. I'll come back to it. I'll review my circumstances again, and let's go back. Okay? But next, I'll walk you through with that stuff just in a second. So this will give you ease and peace of mind. Tell me what you are struggling with so I can follow along and help you kind of go through those as well if needed. And this step is a tough one for sure, and I want to make sure that kind of you grasp it. Okay? So now even more tough questions or big question. The real big question I want you to answer for yourself is this. Ready? Can I really afford to do this at this point in my life? Or it may look like, am I able to implement this right now in my life or my kid's life? Or can I financially afford it right now? Whatever the version of that big question is for you, you'll have to decide. But it's important for you to really ask and be specific about it so you can move on to the next step. Because worrying doesn't help anybody, right? So whatever you identified as your fear or worry that is making you feel guilty, ask, can I really afford to do this at this point in my life? This is the question you are really after. Be totally honest with yourself and don't worry about your perfectionist tendencies. That you still want to provide what you know that you can't, right? I know that you want to be a perfect mom or dad, but sometimes we really need a reality check. Whether it's lack of time, your own mental, emotional, or physical health, or work stress, or maybe strain on your relationship with your spouse, or some other reason, whatever the reason is, let's just be real. And most of the time, we don't take the time to really reflect and really face the real reason why you're feeling guilty. We just keep on pondering on that I need to do more, I need to do this, I didn't spend time with my kids, or I'm not following up with them, or I'm not following through with them, right? And before you know, the time passes by, right? And somebody in the message had said that, oh, before they check with their kids, something that they asked to do, it's a week by and they never check on it, right? So time goes fast, life is moving fast, and we need to make it work for you. If you are not able to provide what do you really desire to provide for your kids right now, I can assume you are feeling some lack in self-care. Let's face it, if you were feeling your 100%, you know you will make it happen, right? So I want you to be easy on yourself and pay attention to the ways you can better take care of your own health so you can show up for your kids. Deal? Great. So I know that you're going to say, it always comes to self-care. Of course it does, because if we are not taking care of ourselves, it's hard to show up fully with all of your qualities for our loved ones, right? Okay, let's move on to next step. Phew, that reflection step was a big one. By far, the first step was the hardest of the three that you are going to do in this session, because it requires some reality check. Facing your fears is not the easiest thing on earth, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't have any worries or we wouldn't have any fears, right? Okay. So for the second step, I want you to trust your intuition. Worrying does not solve problems. That's why we took care of the worrying part in the first step. Once you have the answer to your big question, whether you can really implement that right now or not, now I want you to have a gut check, right? Somebody can tell you what to do. I can sit here what to do or tell you what to do with your child or with yourself, right? But if it doesn't pass your mama gut check, it's hard to apply, right? I'm a mom and I can read or do or hear all those things that we should be doing, right, as perfect mom or as a great mom, but it's always good to have a gut check. I am a big intuition and energy person, so it's important for me to pass this gut check. And not to mention, you know your child best. You know you the best, and you know your situation the best. So you are the only one who can really make that decision, right? So do what feels best right now. And you can change it later on. That's okay. But don't feel like this is the end of it, right, in making decisions. Now, it's not about what you should be doing or what other perfect great moms are doing or what your friends are doing or what your sister-in-law is doing, right? Or not what you see mothers doing on Instagram, right? In this step, I am asking you to pay attention to your own intuition. What is right for you? What is right for you first? Then your child, and then maybe your family or the whole situation, whatever it might be, getting in the way. Okay? So have some faith and confidence that you know this thing called motherhood or fatherhood, right? Type yes, comment, let me know how you're doing and what questions or comments you might have, so I can kind of answer them. And feeling guilty is really based out of fear, right? And we, in the first step, identifying worry or fear, that's really kind of, the guilt comes from the fear, right? So living from fear is never good. When you fear or your fear and your worry kind of surfaces, you can tell in your shoulders or not in your stomach or some other way that your body expresses stress. That means your actions are out of fear or worry, right? Or anxiety, whatever we want to call it. Whenever you're able to notice that, go back to your intuition. Go back to number one if you still are not clear about your fear or worry, the real worry, and do that reflection so you can go back and so you can kind of identify what steps you're going to take, okay? So for number three, number one, you're going to reflect why you're not able to do what you want to do, why you're feeling guilty, right? So, and number two is to trust your intuition. Now we're moving on to number three, and this is the most actionable item you are going to get. Build time with your kids into your schedule or into your calendar. Book them. This is a big one. You want to make sure that your kids are on your calendar just like anything else, just like any board meetings, just like any other work stuff or any other important dates and stuff, if we're about writing things down, the things that get written down are the things that get done. I know I still have to remind these things sometimes again and again to myself. I have been implementing this method for a long time, but still sometimes when I find some things fall in cracks and I have to kind of, go back and usually see like, why did these things slip by? And it is one of those things that never made it to my calendar. So we have busy lives. We are doing a lot. We are doing this thing called motherhood and working full time, taking care of houses, your house, home, family, right? It is a lot of pressure. So a lot of moving parts. But if you put that on your calendar, that means you are able to pay attention to that portion of the time in your day just for your kids. And just this one act will help you eliminate that guilt you are dreading. Okay? So plan ahead. When you plan ahead and you know that you will have good amount of quality time with your kids tomorrow, for example, coping with the guilt from not being able to do anything today would be easier. Just give it a try. Put it on. As the time comes along, you will be reminded by your watch or your phone or whatever, that ding, like, hey, this is my time with my kids, or driving them, or just playing something, right? Or an outing. Schedule it. Another technique I have personally used is to enroll them in something you might be interested in, like yoga or Pilates or gymnastics with toddlers if you have little kids. So what I did was, prior to COVID, like I signed up my daughter for ice skating. That's what she expressed she wanted to do. And along with her registration, I also registered myself. I was going to take her there anyway, drive her and wait for her to learn her lesson and then come back, right? So heck, it was embarrassing to for an adult to be learning ice skating, and I've never been on ice before, especially on those thin scale blades. But I had a blast with my daughter and a really good quality time spent with her doing something we both enjoyed. And we not just took the lessons because the lessons were separate, but we went afterwards or stayed afterwards to practice together. So she taught me and I learned, and so it was a really good quality time. So try something like that, but it takes planning, right? So you have to plan, and mom guilts just don't happen. You are not able to just get rid of it because you just wake up and you don't have that mom guilt one day, right? You have to do something about it. Okay, so we are through our 3 easy steps. Just a side note on from a psychology point of view on following up with your kids, because there were some comments on this event that following through with your kids is rough or tough. You just don't get time, right? Following up is very important with kids. They feel safe, they feel wanted, and it helps them to grow their self-esteem. When in doubt, you can even go back whenever you remember to do that, right? If you forgot that, oh my God, I was supposed to do this or follow up on this last week, right? Still go and say, hey, how did you do on this, right? Even if you remember today, just go back and check on it. Late is better than never, right? So just a side note on follow through or follow up, that from a psychology point of view, it is really good for them if you are able to do it. So that is just extra if you want to do it to help ease your mom guilt. Okay, there you have it. 3 easy steps that you can take today to cope with that mom guilt so you can tend to your self-care so you can serve your kids even better with quality time. Here is the review. Identify your specific worry or fear around your guilt. Get some proof and validity instead of just general statements. Those do not help. So go back to the first step and follow those questions along. Number 2, follow your intuition. It's not a cookie cutter thing. You are the mom after all. Have some confidence. You know what's best for you and for your family and for your children. Okay? 3, put your kids on your calendar. They deserve it, and you deserve it. See what you can do today to ease that mom guilt and have quality time with your kids. Taking care of your own needs will help you serve your kids even in better quality and better care. It's all about the perspective. Hope this was helpful and applicable, and you're able to ease some of that mom guilt with these 3 easy steps. Not hard to apply. Do it today. And I didn't see any comments come through. And again, that could be because of me. I'm not sure. But I'll go back and comment it when it's posted. So thank you very much for joining me live. And I'll see you all next week. We're gonna take a break because I'll be away. I am taking my self-care day on Thursday next week, so I'll see you in 2 weeks with a new topic and better new things that you can do for bettering yourself. Okay, take care. Bye.